Hello everyone! Today I'm going to show you how I turned my old bedroom into this forest getaway. I honestly love it so much. It's so cozy to come to this room at the end of the day. The two main pieces I'm going to be talking to you that really helped make this makeover is the wall mural and this upcycled side table. What I did to add some flair is some new accessories, and that was it. It was a pretty easy makeover, so if you're interested, please keep on watching. Okay, so first up was the wall mural. Now, I am a visual artist, and my preferred medium is acrylic on canvas and digital art. This was the first time I was going to attempt a wall mural, so I was excited and also scared. The vision behind this wall mural was to bookend my bed with leaves. So what I did to make this easier for myself was started from the back and moved forward, which also meant darker colors first and then moving forward. So here you can see me adding the depth or the shadows in the back, and then I traced out where I want my giant leaves to be. After that, I painted the smaller leaves kind of scattered just to make sure that it looked good. I didn't use a template or a stencil or anything. I kind of free-handed it, which was, I guess, ballsy for the first time, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. After painting the small leaves, I started going into the bigger leaves. I really just used a green, a white, and a yellow and mixed those colors together to create multiple shades. I'm using regular acrylic paint here onto wall paint, which was from Behr. I will leave the links of any products I use here, so if you're interested, please check out the description. Next up, we have this side table. The first thing I did was make sure I laid out the tiles on top. In this scenario, I'm using stones to just map it out before I started grouting. Then I placed the grout underneath, the stones on top, and then more grout to fill into the cracks. If you're interested in watching a detailed how to tile a table video, I've made that, so I will link it up for you here. That one goes in depth step by step. So as you can see here, I'm using black grout to cover up all of the cracks. Now the difference in color you're seeing there is because I first attempted to add black paint into white grout to get the color I desired, because I had white grout lying around. However, I do not recommend this tactic. As you can see, the color turned out very gray and it was not ideal. So later on, I went into Amazon and purchased black grout. This was black powder that I mixed water to, and then I got it to this perfect consistency. I also made sure to leave 2 stones for the knobs. Now here's the first step to making the knobs. I'm using this Gorilla Glue, which is awesome. So I'm using this Gorilla Glue to adhere the screw onto the back of the stone. I'm just using 3 magnets to kind of rest up my stone so that it's elevated and not sitting on the surface. And then you want to slowly add the Gorilla Glue onto the screw. You want to make sure that the layer is quite thick, because this is going to be the only thing that's holding the screw to the stone. Now while that's drying, I went ahead and found some thick straws to spray paint gold. Later you'll see this come to life, but basically these straws are going to act as covers for our screw so that you won't be able to see them on the outside. Let that dry. And now I'm cutting out the straw to measure how long I want it to cover the screw. Now remember, the screw is going to go all the way into the wood, so you don't really need that much straw. Here I'm just eyeballing it, and once I have the desired size, I'm going to use that as a template to cut out my second straw. Now, as you can see, the glue has dried, it started to bubble up, and it's become really solid. So I'm going to continue to build up that glue because this is the only thing holding the screw to the stone. Fantastic. Now we let that dry as well. You don't want to wait until the grout has dried completely, so you still want to be able to shape it while it's semi-wet. And that is what the sponge is acting as. You wet the sponge and start to use it as a shaper of the grout so that you're smoothing out any crevices or bumps on the grout. I'm lightly also using the sponge to brush over the stones because the stones have that grout shadow on them. This is just to get the gunk off, majority of the gunk off, but later we're going to be going in with cheesecloth to shine the stones. Now the cheesecloth is a lot finer than the sponge and it has a little bit more grit to it, so it works really well to buff off the stones and bring back its shine. Now back to the knobs, I'm using a gray acrylic paint to cover up the glue so that it's unnoticeable and it gives it a really nice organic shape. Continuing on, I'm using my drill to make a hole. I used a drill bit that was the size of the screw and then just went right in. Now you can see that coming to life. The gold straw piece, I cut it a little smaller and I covered up that glue, and then we go ahead and screw it into the hole. You want to be gentle here because again, the glue is the only thing that's holding the screw in place to that stone. And on the back, I used a washer and a nut to tighten it. To cover up that pointed edge, I went back in with my Gorilla Glue and put in a little dab. Look at that. DIY'd knobs. And that's a finished upcycle lac IKEA table. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this room makeover. If you want to see more of my work, you can check it out on my website, butternutbutternut.com. If you like what you see and live in the Toronto GTA area, I offer design and consulting services for your space. Other than that, you can find me on Instagram at butternutbutternut, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.